this is Steven Silva and welcome to another Monday morning art talk. So today I wanted to discuss the potential idea of reality within the art industry, Hollywood, artists, everything else. And what drew me to it, what made me think about it, was something that Varys said from the Game of Thrones, that one of the biggest things that you need to do really is learn which one of your friends really aren't your friends. And this is a big thing. And I'm sad to say, but I know it to be true, I have some friends out there who really aren't my friends. They come across as friends, but they have other intentions. I don't always know what their intentions are, but I just know by the way they either talk to me, or most importantly by their actions, that these friends really aren't my friends. So a lot of times I try to weed them out where I can. Sometimes I try to do it in a polite way. Sometimes I just completely ignore it and, unfortunately let them still think that I'm not onto them as far as what they're doing. And a lot of this may sound like, wow, what's this guy talking about? He's coming on as a real thing. This is real because not everyone is going to be your friend. And unfortunately, why people aren't truly your friends is because of envy, jealousy, sort of the same thing. They kind of want to, they don't feel that you deserve the things in life that you should be getting because they're too caught up in competition. They're too caught up in, feeling that they're just better than you as an artist. And a lot of the times this may be the case. There are so many better artists out there than other artists. Everyone's a better artist than another artist, right? I mean, there's great artists, there's not so great artists, but the reality is, even in the art world, and I've learned about this through actors, I've learned about this with comedians, I've learned about this with just entertainers in any form, that you go along, you're on the bottom. We're all on the bottom at some point. We all start from the bottom. And as we're working towards our desires, our dreams, our only hope in our imagination is someday that we become something. Someday that people notice us. Someday that we're heard and seen and we're acknowledged and we're appreciated and we get the pat on the back and the good old, jolly old you. Well done, little guy. And that's what we kind of want. That's the desire. Again, we don't just want to not have any purpose in life. We don't want to go unnoticed. So all of a sudden, when you're climbing through the ranks and you're working, not everyone works as hard, so not everyone gets to where they want to be. And some people are working harder than others underground. You don't notice all the hard work that's going into it. And eventually something happens and something hits and you get this recognition. And the other people from the outside, those people who you thought were your friends, start to look and start to go, who does this guy think he is? Why is he doing this? Why is he saying that? And again, it's a psychological thing. It's the insecurity of that artist that gets you there. And, my own personal approach is just let it go, man. In all honesty, whoever you are out there, and you know who you are, and you know it. And what I would say to you, if you're that sort of person, stop faking it. Stop trying to pretend that you're someone else's friend by constant communication with them if you're really not. If you see this person every now and again and you got to be cordial with them, you be cordial with them because you don't want to start a brawl, you don't want to start a fight. But the reality is, just cut the losses and try to learn which one of your friends is truly your friends. I think is just going to be an important part of one's growth. There was a saying that I heard, I wrote about it in my book too at one point, that and what is it, it's just having this mind blank right now, but it's going to hit me right now, is what other people say about you is none of your business. I don't know where that saying came from, but man, does that ring true. Because there's going to be people talking shit about you, okay, because of their own insecurities. They're talking behind your back, and the reality is you're not going to know what they're saying as long as it's behind your back, and then it's none of your business. And if that person was real, they would confront you, and that person would say something to you out in the open. But most people are too afraid and too scared, so they put on just this front and this fakeness. And oftentimes you can really read through those people. Like, there's some people I know, and man, do I know. And it's like, I've said something to a couple of them, and you know, they're not my friends anymore. And some people, I'm just like, I don't even know if they can handle the truth. You can't even handle the truth. They wouldn't even be able to handle it. So I just would rather just keep it, you know, to the side. So I just kind of want to be honest and open there, and just because that resonated with me, it's like, you know, it's so true, just knowing, you know, who your real friends are, and your friends will stick by you. Your friends will support you all the way through if they're truly your friends. Have you ever seen those stories of celebrities, actors, people who have made lots of money in their life, and all of a sudden they go through the worst time in their life, something bad happens and they lose everything, they get real sick? How many of those people show up, you know, afterwards, and you realize, God, they were just there for the parties, and they were just there for that. They were never truly my friends. Not all of us are going to ever experience that sort of thing, but you know, that's the reality. So I just say to you out there, just, you know, you don't need to have 50 billion friends, and we don't. And what's weird in this Hollywood business is, what I've found, there's a lot of cliques. There's the artists who just hung out amongst themselves, and they, you know, it's kind of like a boys club, and they keep to themselves, and they keep you on the outskirts, and unless you're in cahoots with them, and unless you're there, you kiss their ass or do something, you're not going to be included. And they, you know, they may be someone who moves up the ladder and becomes a director and does stuff, but unless you know them, and yeah, maybe some of them, they need just a constant, oh man, you're amazing, man, you're brilliant, you're so good. Unless they're getting that from you and you're kissing their ass, they won't call you, they won't hire you, they won't use you. And hey, that's the name of the game. But the thing is just to be real. And you can't be concerned about that. You just, again, it all comes down to just doing your best, and enjoying this journey wherever it may take you. But yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of a-holes out there, a lot of people I've dealt with personally throughout my career where I'm just like, whoa, you know, I don't want to work with that guy. And even if you do end up working with him, you just like regret it afterwards. But it's a sad state of affairs, and a lot of people are shy too. And so I don't want you to think that just because someone's shy or introverted that they're being you know, mean to you in any way, because that's what you have to weed through too in this industry. There's a lot of brilliant minds out there, but a lot of introverted artists who just really keep to themselves, where you think they're, God, this person's this, but in reality, you know what? They're cool, they're good people, but they just not socially inept. They're just not good at discussing or a conversation, and maybe they just don't want to. They just want to be in their own little world. So you have to try to hone in and focus that. It's really about reading people and observing people as much as possible. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. And like I mentioned last week, I just wanted to add to it. Just come on, guys, keep thinking outside the box. Think differently, value your artwork. Do not, there's other ways than selling yourself short, giving your work away for nothing. You do not need to do this. As a whole, you're setting as an industry standard. You're affecting your careers if you're totally undervaluing your artwork. Everyone's going to know about it. That's why artists are treated as a dime a dozen, because you're not valuing your work enough. You know, you have to just step up the game, start charging what you feel you're worth, start charging even what it is, just to make you feel good about what you're doing, that after you take on an assignment or a job, that you don't feel like you've just been cheated and spent all these hours. So we all live in different parts of the world. We all have different you know, means for survival. We all have different quality of lives. We all have, you know, some places it's more expensive to live than others, so the cost of living is less, so you can charge less. But just know that when you're working with any clients in the Western world here, you know, out in the States, you know, England, wherever throughout Europe, certain parts of Europe, you know, that the value's there, and people know it, and we got content is king. You look all around you, it's all content, creative content that us artists have created. So we need to maintain that stronghold. We need to make sure that we are just keeping that up and stop devaluing, because we'll be really working for pennies and we're killing ourselves. So I say don't do it. And sometimes you got to walk away from a job. You have to. And I'd much rather walk away from a job and work on my own stuff than working for nothing. And you may say, oh, that's easy for you, look what you've done. But I tell you, I've done it because I've walked away from many jobs when I had nothing. I had nothing, but I had no education, no art school, nothing. Just me doing caricatures, working at a theme park, working on the streets, working in parks, working at bars, working all over the place, painting windows at Christmas time. I've gone through the trenches. I've done it all. So I never like when people say it's easy for you, because it's not easy for me, because I've gone through a lot. And it's only through my experiences now that I can tell and share with you. So hopefully you don't have to go through that same aggravation. But don't devalue your work, don't devalue yourself. All right, thanks for watching, thanks for sharing. You can follow me on facebook.com/Steven Silver. My website is silvertunes.com. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care.